Well, good day, YouTube, and welcome to another attempt at a Hangout. So, what this Hangout attempt helps show is just how little I have to do with the industry anymore. I can't get people to join me on these. We're going to try though. We're going to try, and anyone that wants to join is more than welcome to join. I can give you the join link, and you can come hang out with us. If you don't want to, that's fine too, and we can just chat. I have my beers that I reviewed off beside me. I did 6 beers tonight, so yeah, I have a while to go. Yeah, and please, like usual, talk, say hi, interact. That's what this whole thing is about, right? This whole live stream thing is about interacting with you guys, and that's entirely what I want to do. I do have my beautiful pink headset here. Headset by headset, I mean earbuds. In case somebody does join, we just plug in and we're good to go. Yeah, yeah. I do still have a few before I go back up north. A few styles to do for Harry's best in style category stuff. I just decided that Saturday night would be the night we would try and have a hangout, like old times' sake, like 3 years ago sake. But again, it's been 3 years since I've done this, so everybody has their new hangouts to do. And now that a lot of the restrictions are lowering all across the country and across the globe, people are getting out for the first time in a few years. So I get that. I get that there's not a lot of people around. It does hurt a little bit inside because again, this used to be the way I would communicate with a lot of my buddies. So it hurts a little bit, but I fully and utterly understand it. We will go from the one I liked the least of what I reviewed tonight and move from there. So we're going to look at, well, we're not looking at because we've already reviewed it. The review is just not posted. But Lamiere à Boire, their Czech Pilsner or their Pivo. And I mean, Chris and I talked about this last night, how when you get your average craft brewery making a beer, a lot of times they just over hop the stuff, and that was the problem with this beer. It comes off with the proper flavor for a pilsner. It really does. It starts like a normal pilsner, and then it's like there's saws hops on steroids, just like dancing on the back of your palate, and it's not the greatest thing to deal with. But it's there. It's a there. It's too bitter. It's too bitter for a pilsner. And I mean, I guess you can argue that that might be what pilsners were supposed to taste like back in the day. I don't know. I wasn't alive back then. None of us really were. I don't think it was though. I don't think we used as much hops as we do now. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, IPAs, they do say that they think that there was a huge amount of hops thrown in, and it's possible. Maybe hops back then didn't give off as much flavors as they do now. But yeah, it is what it is, right? I don't know what to say. We are on the StreamYard, so your comments will come in, but they will come in a little bit behind what they usually would do.
On any death certificate sent.
Apparently there is one person watching right now, so that is awesome. I don't know who you are, but thank you, and why don't you come and join me? Best way to interact is to join. You can join in. I don't bite. Even if I'm asked to, I usually don't. So you should be okay. You should be safe. You should be safe. if you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm sending the link out to a few more people that usually tell me they're interested in joining, and I'm really hoping that they actually are, but I don't know for sure if they really are or not. Uh, I did post on the Albino Rhino Beer Festival site a question of what's your favorite new brewery across Canada that's opened in the last 3 years. Basically, I'm just trying to find out what people's thoughts are. And I've been out of the beer industry for so long that I don't even know what's around anymore. And there was a lot of answers and a lot of people questioning, hey, is there an Albino Rhino Beer Festival in 2022? Well, no, there isn't going to be. It's the end of March. Um, the AGCO wants you to apply for your license 90 days before the festival. Um, I wouldn't have enough time to apply for a license, get it, switch my vacations around, get breweries interested, get all the cups, get all the tickets. There's just not enough time for a one-man show to do everything from now until, well, in 90 days. Usually I'm doing, usually it's a 6 month process, 6 to 7 month process. I usually actually start soft doing my jobs for the festivals in September, and then I don't advertise the festival until January, and then the festival's at the end of May. But come January, I have all my paperwork in hand. I don't even like selling a ticket until I know everything is set in stone. So yeah, the restrictions were not lowered in time for me to get anything dealt with. And when I do come down for my second, here's the thing: I get 2 trips out right now a year. My second trip, I'm with my kids the whole time, and I get to see my kids once a year. I'm not giving up 1 second with them for the beer festival. If I had known the restrictions were going to lower earlier, we could have used my first trip, which was this trip, and come down just in May and done it then, and then come down again in the summer, because May is when my kids' school up in the Arctic ends anyway. But we didn't know that going into it, so this is where we're at. Hey there, how are you? I'm in Calgary. Well, other than the fact that I am currently stuck in Dorval waiting for my flight back to Nunavik, I'm doing pretty well, and I'm glad you're. Hopefully, you're doing well yourself. Um, yeah, yeah. Sitting here in Dorval, Quebec, waiting for my flight to Bavernatuk. Wednesday morning, I believe 9 a.m. is my flight up. So my 10-day, well, my 11-day removal from society will end, and I will be able to go back home and see my, well, 3 of my 5 kids and my wife. And looking forward to getting back up there. I'm not looking forward to going back to work the very next day, because you'd think that an extra 10 days in vacation would be yay, but it's really not yay when it's locked in a hotel room not doing anything. And yeah, I was given permission to get out Thursday. I mean, I did leave the house. I went to that brewery, but it's not the same when you don't know the town and you are really low on funds and everything else. It's not the same when you're just wandering around doing nothing. But I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. It means a lot. And like I said, hopefully you're doing okay. How is the weather in Calgary right now? Is there any new breweries in Calgary? Anything going on in Calgary? Alberta, most of the breweries I've had in Alberta have been outside of Calgary. I've had some stuff from High River Brewing Company, very good brewery. I believe Blind Man Brewing is in Alberta. Toolshed was Alberta, was it not? I actually, come to think of it, I think other than Ontario, Alberta is probably where I've had the most beers from. And then probably BC. Um, then, well, I would say Saskatchewan is the only one I haven't had a lot of stuff from at all. And PEI, I haven't had a lot from either, but PEI I've had a lot from one brewery in PEI, and that one brewery in PEI makes up for more than everything I've had from Saskatchewan. If we're doing numbers, I think Saskatchewan, PEI, Newfoundland, and Manitoba are probably the ones I've had the least amount of stuff from. Nova Scotia, Lee sent me a lot of stuff in over time, and I've ordered from Nova Scotia a couple times. New Brunswick, me and Nick have done a bunch of trades, and again, I've ordered a few things from different breweries in New Brunswick. BC, I've ordered stuff from and I've done trades. Alberta, I've ordered stuff done from and done trades. Quebec, I live in Quebec now, so whenever I order craft beer from Marche Touraine for the Arctic, it's usually coming from Quebec. Actually, I'm lying though, because I know Nunavut has a brewery and I've never had anything from Nunavut, so I have to add Nunavut to that list as well, because they have the Iqaluit Brewing Company. I don't think it's called Iqaluit Brewing though. It's something else. But they have a brewery in Iqaluit, and I've never had any of their offerings either. I don't enjoy beer, but I do enjoy your reviews. Well, okay, thank you. That's fine. What type of things do you enjoy? Is it the non-alcoholic stuff, the hot sauce? Nothing, because we have done a bunch of different things in time, and I keep saying we as if everybody else is still involved in this, where it is really just me now. Uh, yeah, yeah. Me, and every once in a while my wife yelling about how gross beer is. I wish she was here to try this one. She would have hated it. There's all this stuff I always wanted to do with the channel, because as a review channel, you're open to do almost anything, right? You can do food, you can do alcohol, you can do hot sauce, you can do movies, venues, everything. And I always wanted to get around to doing movies and stuff too, but I never had anyone really interested in doing movies with me, except for the few times that the cartoon would come over and we would do some movie reviews. And we would never get really in depth because, again, a lot of editing goes into proper movie reviews, shall we say, where you're doing the showing scenes and everything. The hot sauce reviews are great. I'm glad you enjoy them. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoy them. The best hot sauce reviews, in my opinion, were always the ones where the Reverend was involved, because the Reverend legitimately did a lot of times find pizza sauce to be too spicy for him. So when you could get him involved in one, it always turned out to be a good time. And stories about our lives have always been fun too. Calgary is good. Warm. I grew up near the old Labatt Brewery in Saskatoon, but never developed a taste for alcohol. In all honesty, I enjoy the fact that you're a working class stiff like me. Well, thank you. Thank you. To be honest, this working class stiff is trying to save up money for a house in Saskatchewan, because originally New Brunswick was where me and my family wanted to end up after we were done in the Arctic. And then all the not fully working class stiffs in Toronto that made a lot of money, who did the mass exodus from Ontario, went out to the East Coast, and that just drove house prices up. And we wanted to be on it by the ocean for our kids and everything else, and the laid back way of life. But Saskatchewan's house prices are the same as New Brunswick's used to be. So we were like, do we care if it's prairies or oceans? The weather is horrible no matter what. But the weather is better in both places than it is where we live right now. Are we okay with the prairies? And we're like, you know what? if we can buy a house outright or almost outright, and even if we just work minimum wage jobs, but we have no debts, we're 100% okay with that. So that's what it's looking like right now. It's looking like we're going to end up in the prairies if the mass exodus from Ontario does not turn into a mass exodus from the Maritimes, which give them a couple winters in the Maritimes and they might just fucking flee because the weather is not great and people from Toronto are used to having a lot more amenities than you're getting even in say Halifax. Now, I mean things like Starlink has really helped out because you could move into the fucking boonies of New Brunswick and still work a lot of good jobs in a house that costs you 100 grand instead of $1 million for a condo. But it, I don't know how well it's going to last when they're on a septic tank and it fills and they have to bring somebody out or they have to wait for a truck to bring them oil or a lot of people that lived in the city most of their life can't seem to do that type of life. And I grew up in a tiny town, basically a hamlet outside of a town, and it was always fun that way because nobody knew what was going on, and like we had a propane tank. And sorry, I'm blind. I just see colors showing up. Right, Mackin, why don't you join me? Have a drink on me. Keep up the good work. Sask is great, good people. Well, that's good to hear. Actually, since you grew up in Saskatoon, can I ask you a few questions? What are your thoughts on, like, say, Prince Albert? I've actually been offered a lot of jobs in Prince Albert. I've been offered a lot of jobs in Broadview and in Yorkton, and Prince Albert seems to be the best mixture of house prices for amenities that I can find. Saskatoon house prices are higher, but they're not as high as, say, Ontario or anything. And Regina, the places I can find in Regina don't have a lot. But the Prince Albert seems like, but I don't know enough about the city to know if it's worth even thinking about. But I know that I've been headhunted by a couple companies once I put my name out in that area. And Mackin, nothing's up. Why don't you join me? I can send you the link. You can come chat. You can come join us, Mackin. We could have Big Mac online with us. Big Mac doesn't like being online. And thank you very much for that. Yeah, we'll definitely have a drink on you, and that's enough to buy one can of beer up where I am at normally. So that'll work. That'll work. No, I appreciate that. And yeah, the hot sauce reviews. I do still have a box of hot sauce sitting in the corner of the bedroom up in Pavernituk. So once I get back, me and the wife will finish off the hot sauce reviews. We're waiting to find out, which we were supposed to find out before, but we are waiting to find out if there is any future for us really in the company. And we haven't ordered anything else because we're waiting on that. But there is a lot of non-alcoholics and everything else for me to do with the kids that I can get my hands on. Apparently, I have some guacamole salsa waiting for me that somebody makes in town to review. So and I have a few non-alcoholic stuff over there that I have to review. I have to decide if I'm trying to bring that ginger ale back with me or if I'm going to try to find something that I can pry it open with because I don't have a bottle opener with me and it is a pop top. And there's no stores to go to around here, right? Everything's pretty far away. Yeah. That is by far the worst craft pilsner I've had in a while. Wow. Like, why? Why would you? Okay. Okay. I see there's another comment. We will get to it. I need to compose myself here. Like, why? Why would you? Mackin, why? Why? Why don't you just come and join us, Mackin? Come and have a drink with me. Okay, 1 second. I'll put that up in a second. I just need it to not be up while I read it. Prince Albert is good, close to the Northern Lake. Lots of stuff for the kids to do, for activities. You'll be fine. Well, and that's the thing. I can't say that I'm always a fan of everything up in the Arctic, but we survive, and we survive fine. Um, I was actually saying to the wife that, because I keep telling her that I kind of want out of the Arctic, and she's like, well, you didn't love the South either. And I'm like, it's not that I hate the North. I actually don't mind the North. Like, I want to be able to take my kids somewhere. I want to be able to go out on a date with you. I want to be able to go, you know what? I don't want to cook tonight. Let's go to a restaurant. I want to be able to go, you know what? At least it's not negative 65 outside right now. Let's go outside and play. I want to be able to have dogs again because I've lost 3 dogs in my time in the Arctic, and I ended up having 2 more dogs. We were like, you know what? After our first 2 to 3 dogs were killed, let's try and get another dog. And we always like having. I love dogs. They give me a nice warm feeling inside. They actually make me happy. Bred dogs. And we got another dog. And when you get one, you need to get another because you need a friend. But you don't have a yard or anything, so you can't just let them out. And my kid's like, I will take care of the dog. I'll take it outside. He took him outside until it got cold out, and then I'm like, you know what? We can't let them out. We have people in town walking up and trying to kick them and everything else. It's time for their safety to be sent somewhere else. And so we did. We sent them to the south through a charity called Chier Nordiques, which takes dogs from the Arctic and find them homes in the south. And I've said, you know what, this is now 5 dogs in a 3 year span, well, 2.5 year span. I'm not doing any more of this because it hurts. It hurts a lot. And I told her that's one of the main reasons I want out of the Arctic is to get a yard and get some dogs. I want my dogs back. I want to get another boxer. I want to get a Roddy. I want to maybe I want to start breeding again. Probably not, but maybe I do. Like I just my choices are very limited where I am, and I think that's the isolation is starting to get to me. It's not even the town itself. It's not the isolation is getting to me, and I need something different. Okay, what do we got next? Restaurants, movies, sports, recreation in Prince Albert. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, I just don't know enough about Prince Albert, but I have been. I was headhunted by some Prince Albert companies, so that makes me want to actually look into it more. But who knows, right? What'll end up happening? There was actually some 3 bedroom houses that had unfinished basements where I could make a 4th bedroom because I have 3 of my 5 kids, and in the end, you need spaces for all 5 to sleep when I have the other ones as well. But I have 3 of my 5 kids, so I need a 4 bedroom house. But there was some 3 bedroom houses with unfinished basements that were finishable. They weren't wet basements. They were good, and the height was good. Just people didn't put the money into finishing them, and they were like $70,000. I'm like, how can we go wrong when I'm being offered jobs that pay close to that? Let's take the chance and let's go. And she's like, I don't want to start over for the 4th time in 4 years just yet. And I'm like, okay, I get that. I get what you're saying. But if we don't go soon, we might lose our chance because if people start realizing that the West is not nearly as expensive as the East is becoming, they might start an exodus again going that way. I go, and right now people aren't really wanting to work or not able to get jobs for different reasons. I'm not going to get into the political reasons as to why people aren't getting the jobs. Let's just leave it alone. I'm like, right now we can. Right now might be our chance. If we don't take the chance, we lose the chance. And she still doesn't want to. So I don't know what's going to go on with it, but I want to get my kids to a more accessible place where, again, I can take them out, she can take them out, we can take each other out. I hadn't had a date in 3 years before this, right? Like we had not gone on a date since September. No, sorry, since October 5th, 2019, until March 14th of 2022. So I mean, I'm like, you know what? This is hard. I can't do this. I was in love with you in high school, and I lost 18 years with you because I didn't have the balls to tell you in high school how I felt about you. So I went my way, you went your way, and we didn't find each other again for 18 years. I lost all that time with you. I don't want to continue this game of not doing things because there's nothing to do. Um, and I mean, I bought an ATV, I bought a Skidoo, I sold an ATV, I sold a Skidoo, I sold two ATVs because I buy them because it gives me a little bit of freedom because it's the only way to go anywhere in the Arctic, and it's great and all, but I work long hours, and then I have three kids and a wife, and they all want to go on rides, so it's not fair when one of them's going for the ride and the others aren't. And it was like, you know what? I don't have any time to just go out on my own either, so I just got to get rid of this. And I don't have enough time to take it out where I want to take it. And usually I only try to hold on to them for about a year anyway, because once you start having to do maintenance on it, like true maintenance, more so than oil changes and stuff, it gets expensive as fuck because it's so expensive to get shit there, and you sometimes have to wait. I know people that wait almost a year to fix their skidoos because it takes time to get the equipment up there or to get the parts. Sorry, let me see what you said there. They might make you have to upgrade your rating of Molson Pilsner if you go to Saskatchewan. They can try. Saskatchewan's where Bridge Brewing is, isn't it? No, not Bridge. Is it Great River, or there's some Great Western or something? Those were good beers. I didn't know those. I'm pretty sure those were a Saskatchewan brewery. I'd be on top of those all the time. We have Lux Pecan a Arabla next, so pecan, maple pecan. I thought this was like a red ale or something, but it's supposed to be a blonde ale apparently. Boom. I had people say they wanted to join. Nobody's joined. You're only a little over a Great Western. Okay, yes, that's it. It used to be the old Vienna plant, really? Wow. And only an hour north of Saskatoon is not bad at all either. And see, the other thing, my wife keeps going on, hey, we don't really have savings anymore. And she's right, we don't, because every time we turn around, something happens that kills our savings. We went north, we didn't get as much money for the house. Most of our savings went to changing that over and everything. Then our first taxes hit us hard. We lost more of our savings for our first taxes because Quebec is insane when they do their taxes. If you show up in Quebec, even for one day of work in that year, they want to tax you for the entire year. So on top of your Ontario taxation money, you owe Quebec taxation money. And just living in the north did not offset that because you couldn't claim, our first year there, we couldn't claim the northern allowance because we weren't in the north for 6 consecutive months yet. So insanity. Then my son coming up to live with us when my ex-wife said she couldn't handle him anymore and she wanted to know if he could come live with us. Well, buying him all the stuff he needed, getting him ready, getting him settled, cost us all of our savings. And then we got savings up again, and then it was he's going to stay with us. Well, now we have to do a motion to change for his custody. That costs money too. My ex-wife wasn't paying for it, so that took all of our savings again. Then we got our savings up again, and then I got stuck here. And then after I got stuck here, we're like, whatever, it's isolation pay. Work's going to pay for it, so they'll pay for the hotel. They'll pay for my food. Found out no, they're not paying for my hotel or my food. So then that's another over 3 grand gone. And I just shake my head because just every time I turn around, everything's gone. And we own no furniture. Our house is furnished by work. So us leaving is difficult. I get what she's saying, it is difficult. However, we have had an offer from her in-laws that would make it a lot less difficult. She just doesn't want to take that offer because she would rather us do it on our own. And I get that too. I'd rather us do it on our own as well. But again, I'm worried that we're going to wait too long and our chance is going to be gone. And that's my fear with the whole thing. And only being an hour from Saskatoon, I mean, like I said, Prince Albert looks like it has everything I would need. And all the houses I've looked at in Prince Albert, at the most of them are cosmetic stuff because most of them look like they've just not been updated in a long time. Well, you know what? I can do flooring. I hate doing drywall, but I can do drywall. I can do most things. The only things I don't want to have to do is in-depth construction. And none of them look on the surface like they need that. That doesn't mean they don't need that. I'd have to get somebody to go through the house for me because I'm not there to look. And even though I'm blind, I'm good at finding things. I'm good at going through nooks and crannies and finding cracks and this and that. I'm good at that for some reason. I don't know if it's because my vision isn't perfect. I can see like the offs and stuff, but I piss off my wife's father would get pissed off at me all the time because when he would be renovating, I'd walk in and I'd go, "That's crooked. You missed that." He's like, "You're supposed to be blind. How the fuck do you see all that?" And I go, "I don't know. I just do." I remember we went into one house when I was looking for my house when my ex-wife was forcing me to sell the house that we were in Niagara Falls, and she was forcing me to sell it not because I wasn't offering her adequate value, because I was offering her pretty close to what we ended up getting for the house. I was offering her a value that was like $10,000 less than what we ended up getting for the house. And that means she would have gotten $5,000 less because, you know, you have to split 50-50. She just didn't want me there because if I was there, in her mind, I won because I can still walk. It was in the perfect spot for me. I was a 13 to 20-minute walk from work. I was like a 30-minute walk from a grocery store. I was right where I needed to be, and my mortgage was low, and things were good there. It needed work because it was a wartime home, but it was what it was. And she forced the sale anyway. She wanted it to sell, and because it sold for 10 grand more than I could pay, it had to go through in the sale. And I don't even know where I was going with this one. Where was I going with it? See, this is the thing. I need people to talk with me, right? Because it makes me actually be able to keep on track on top of what I'm trying to do. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, she's worried about she's worried that I'll probably remember at some point. She's worried about starting over for a fourth time in 4 years, and I get that. I started over several times, right? I started over when my ex-wife left. I started over when I had to sell that house. I started over when we bought our new house. I started over when we moved in together. Like I started over many times in the last little bit. And as long as I get to a final spot where my kids and my family are happy, I'm good. And I came into my relationship with my ex-wife, not well, sorry, with my current wife, not with a lot. She used to laugh that my house was a glorified bachelor pad, and I'm like, I get what you're like. I had a bed in my room and a dresser in my room. That was all that was in my room. The living room had a couch that was a hand-me-down from my buddy's grandmother. It had my three dog crates because I had my Great Pyrenees, my Mastiff German Shepherd mix, and my Boxer. So I had my 3 dog crates, and I had my computer, my TV, and my video game systems all on an old dresser that my other buddy gave me from his dad's house. I had taken all the drawers out so because it was one of those dressers that had the two doors, one on each side, and then the three drawers in the middle. And I took the drawers out, so the drawers were where some of the stuff was built in, and then the drawers had stuff built in, and that was all I had in the living room. I had a crib in one room for when my son came to visit, and also for when Alicia came to visit, because Alicia had a baby too, Harlow, and Harlow would sleep in the crib. I had a bed in the basement, and I had a bed in the other room. So I had three beds, a crib, a table, the dog crates, the couch, and that was all that was in the house, and it was all hand me down shit. And then I had all my weights and everything. So she's like, "This is like a glorified bachelor pad," and I'm like, "You're not wrong. It kind of is. It is what it is because it had to be, right? Like I had nothing. So then when we moved in together, we got all the stuff we could get from, again, hand me down shit and all that because we were starting over. And then I started doing my woodworking. So then I built a lot of what we had. I built our coffee table. I built our end tables. I built our dining room table, all from like live edge wood and from wire spools and all that sort of stuff. I built a bench for the backyard out of leftover fence boards. like I, and then we decided to take this job because things were happening, and we both needed a change of scenery. We weren't going to survive Welland much longer. So we sold every single thing we owned because we were coming to the north, and so we came up here with 20 crates. And by crates, I mean like the little like 16 liter fucking Plano boxes that I would use at my beer festival for stuff that had like board games and stuff in it. We sent all that up, and our suitcases, and that's all we had. So when we come out, that really is all we have. So it does become a hard thing to want to start over again, especially when every time you turn around, your savings are just destroyed. Um, so I mean, and it's just life, right? It's just life. It's just the way things go. Well, and that's just the thing. For what we're looking for, I'm 100% sure I can find a house that's worthwhile. Like I said, I can do flooring. We can live with fucking disgusting green vomit shag carpet for a little while. I don't mind that. In the end, I'll change it, but I can live with it. The house we bought in Welland, I I built part of the fence. I did the floor in every room. I did I pulled carpet off everything. I did wall treatments. I can do it all. Even though I'm blind, I can do it. I can do it fairly well. Sometimes it's not perfect, and sometimes it's not perfect just because I gave up. Like my old house, the basement, we finished the basement. Me and my buddies finished the basement, and after a week of finishing the basement, I was the only one left there, and I had to get it all done because my son was about to be born. My wife at the time, my ex-wife now, she was coming back from her mom's house, and I was still working on getting the walls perfect because we had to do some strange cuts to get the drywall up properly, and I'm trying to get all the stuff up so that it's good and everything. And I was sanding, and the sand, redo it to try and get it perfect. In the end, I was like, "Fuck this," and I just painted over, and you could see like some of the edges, well, some of the edging, shall we say, was a lot bigger than it should have been. It was a lot bigger than it should have been because I just gave up at that point. Like I can't keep wasting all my time trying to get this perfect because she's about to come home and I need to have this done. I can't have all this gypsum dust up in the air. And so I was just done and I finished it. I was really proud. I was grinding down. There was because it was an Italian family who bought the house from, they poured the basement themselves. and there was some spots that had some really rough work done, because they had moved some of the pillars and stuff in the basement. As the house shifted, they realized that things had to be changed. So there was some really rough spots, and I was grinding one of the rough spots down with a cement grinder, trying to get it flat, or as close to flat as I could so I could floor over it. And then in the end, I got angry, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. And I was really proud of it because it was at the bottom of the staircase, and I basically made a landing over top of all the rough shot. I got some pressure treated wood, tap calmed it in, uh, ended up getting some. I had some decking left. Took the decking, put it over top of it, put painted it the same color as the stairs. Uh, put put trim on it so it looked like it was meant to be there, and it worked. And she hated it. She was like, "That's ugly as hell." And I go, "Okay, do you want to spend another like 3 weeks with cement dust in the air?" She's like, "Well, no." I go, "Then this works. This works, and it works great. Leave it alone." That's what I was trying to say. She was hoping that when she forced the sale of the house, that it would destroy me and I would just give up on everything. And it did make it hard for me. Being legally blind, you you rely on you rely on familiarity a lot, right? You have to learn stuff. That's the biggest part with why I'm not wandering around outside in Dorval. I don't know Dorval. I can't see well enough to look at a street sign and see what the street sign says and know where I'm going. So I try not to go anywhere really, and it is looks honey is next. It is a killer because I have nothing to do. But she thought that that would kill me, and she was right because there was no way I could afford a house in Niagara. At least not a house in Niagara that would have had enough rooms for my kids to visit. Because we lived in different cities, so I had to have overnight visits when I had my visits. And if I didn't have enough rooms, she would deny the visits. So we ended up finding one in Welland, and it was a fucking. I walked from the casino in Niagara Falls to Welland a few times, or from Welland to the casino, and it's like a 4.5 hour walk. And when you're doing that walk at 2:30 in the morning, because there's no one that lives in Welland to drive you home, and if you were to take a cab home, you actually lost more money than you made at work. So I mean, I did what I had to do to make money for my family, to have a roof over my head, and to have a house that my kids could come to. And I mean, it worked. It worked great. Until we decided we had to get out because of our pasts. Basically, there was always stuff there that was reminding us of things. Like every she had reminders of things in Welland that she didn't like, and I had reminders of things in Welland and Niagara that I didn't like, and it wasn't really running away from life so much as, see, if people were here, we would have been talking about beer and stuff like that, or movies, but nobody came tonight. And then when I get back up to the Arctic, what's going to happen is I'm going to get a, hey, why don't you do a live stream? I don't have the internet to do a live stream. Oh, and when I finally get back down here, I'll do a live stream just straight to YouTube, and I'll get, hey, why don't you do a live stream with StreamYard? Well, why would I do that? Nobody joins the StreamYard streams. So it's is what it is, right? Um, I mean, that's the other thing. Internet. I don't care if it's not great internet. Any internet is better than Tamani. Tamani's internet is the worst internet I've ever worked with in my life. And it tells you that it's going to be better. It's like it can be up to this speed. It's never fucking that speed. I don't get above 1 megabit download or upload. I get usually it's like zero point 0.5 download and 0.2 megabits upload. So we're talking in the kilobits. Yeah, your internet is garbage. Don't tell me that I can get 10 megabits upload and 5 megabits download. You fucking liars. Like, it is, it's a joke. Sorry, I can't. See, this is the problem with this, right? Just doing in a few minutes ago, just tuning in a few minutes ago. You staying on much longer? Well, if people join me, yeah. If people join me, I will stay. I have 3 beers left at least to drink, plus the one in my glass, because that's what I reviewed 6 tonight. So, and they were all lower alcohol beers. And then tomorrow I will do 3, possibly 5, because no, tomorrow I'll do 3, and then Monday I will do 4, because 2 of them are non-alcoholic, and then Tuesday I will do none, but I might do a quick live stream because Tuesday night is my last night in Dorval, as long as there's no blizzards or anything. But it's been very mild in PUV, which scares me a little bit about getting home to PUV. My wife told me today I better fucking be on the plane. Well, do you know if I'm on the jet or the Twin Otter or the Dash 8 or what am I on? She goes, you're on the jet. I go, okay. So there's a better chance of me getting back. She goes, what do you mean? I go, well, a lot of the jet pilots will fly through a lot of blizzards. So as long as it's not horrible, as long as the ceiling is high enough they can see the ground, they will fly through it. So there is that going. And yeah, Paul, I have my headset and my earbuds sitting here in case somebody wants to join. I did send Sparky the link a while ago, and I said, look, I know you're probably busy because it's Saturday night and you are a very popular guy, but if you're not, here you go. And I sent it to the guys that used to do Beer Dreams United with me, and I was like, hey, and they're the ones who I originally was talking about, how I understand that, restrictions are open now. I mean, there is one of that group that goes to sex clubs all the time, and sex clubs have been closed for a very long time. Sex clubs are currently open. So I'm pretty sure they're in a sex club right now, getting balls deep in whatever they can. Because why not, right? But yes, send me an email. I'll send you the link. Send me a Facebook message. I'll send you the link. Send me a Facebook message via my pages. I'll send you the link. Whatever you want to get a link to join, I will send it to you, and you can come and join. We can chat. Like I said, we can chat about anything. Really, I've been talking about life in Saskatchewan. So, and actually, everything that I've been told has made me more happy to harass my wife more about Saskatchewan. And like I said, well, I was even offered a job in. Now this one was further north. It was a road community, but it was uh, the job I was offered was in Lorong, Saskatchewan. And I wasn't going to take that one, but they actually offered me a good moving bonus as well. I said to my wife, I'm like, this moving bonus is enough to give us a good down payment for a house, because they would have sent it to me as a payment for me to get there. And like, if we were able to time things right, we could get there with a lot less money and buy a house out. But I didn't want to go to Lorong. Yes. Yes, Lac Lorong. And I mean, like I said, I didn't really want to go there. It was just a toss out when we were talking about opportunities and what was available. I'm like, well, these guys have asked me to go out too. And the greatest thing about what I do is it lends itself to a lot of different jobs. Most of them are in the retail industry, which are not the greatest jobs, not the most sought after jobs, but I mean, what I do does open up almost anything in the retail industry. And I've been offered jobs that are above what I do as well. Like I've been offered full store management jobs. Like I don't have store management. And they're like, well, you've run this event, you've run that event, you've run this, you've run that, and you're doing this in that department right now. You could run a store. And I go, well, thank you for the vote of confidence. Do you have that little amount of people applying for things? And I almost think that I'm going to have to find a way to demand a PCR test about a month before I go on my next vacation in case I did catch COVID again, so that I can't get blindsided like I did this time around. Because again, this was completely from my January infection. And because they would not do that PCR test, I couldn't say, yes, I've been diagnosed, tested positive, because it was only a rapid test. Which is weird because they basically tell you that the rapid test is more askew to false negatives than false positives. And if it says you're positive, you're probably positive. And if it says you're negative, it's like a 60% confidence, which makes no sense to me because if you test positive and you have a stuffy nose, you can apparently blow your nose, try again, and get a negative because it's not necessarily. The whole thing is weird. The whole thing is weird. I can't wait though to not have to wear a mask anymore. I know my job is probably going to demand I still do, but I have a giant noggin, like a giant fucking noggin. I need to get these fucking masks off before they rip my ears off because nobody makes a blue medical mask or even a blue fabric mask instead of the cloth masks big enough for my fucking head. They all pull my ears like this and make it look like a cauliflower ear worse than I do. And it hurts. It hurts a lot. And it hurts a lot when you figure you've been wearing them for, well, this is going on we're starting year 3 of wearing them. I don't mind wearing them. I understand. I just don't mind wearing the ones that don't fit. Like you let me wear my fucking cloth mask that I can edit the size of it and actually fits my giant head. Okay. But so many things now want me to only wear the medical masks, and they fucking hurt. They hurt so bad. And I'm not complaining that I can't breathe or anything like that. I can breathe. I can breathe perfectly fine. I don't care about that. I'll wear it forever as long as it's not ripping my fucking ears off. Give me something bigger. Need to get a fucking girl's headband with the little buttons on it so I can put it up on top of my head. Let's see, what's this say? Pretty, but Lac Orange does put you in that bind where you'd have to sacrifice some of the amenities we discussed before. Only drive through to get departure point for fly-in fishing camps. Yes, yeah, like I said, I was aware that it wasn't the best spot for me. When my wife and I were starting to talk about opportunities and everything, that was one of the ones that did come up. And it was one of the ones where I was 100% positive I wasn't going to go there. It was just one of those, hey, look, this is an option as well. But actually, when Alicia's parents sold their house, their fucking hairs are flying out of my beard. When Alicia's parents sold their house, they ended up making a $500,000 profit, and they banked it all. And at one point, I was looking at jobs in Broadview, and there was jobs being offered to me in Broadview. So I was looking in Broadview a little bit, and I sent them a message. I'm like, look, because they have 3 kids and they have themselves, and I sent them 4 houses in Broadview. And the combined cost of all four houses, which would have been perfect for all four members, was like $375,000. And between me and her dad, any work that had to be done on any of those four houses could be done by us. I'm like, look, you could have your whole family living together in one town. And apparently, they actually contemplated buying all four houses and having us all go out. But they figured that their other two kids would be too whiny to want to go out to Saskatchewan. That they would be like, no, if you're going to give me money for a house, give me money so I can buy it anywhere. And they're like, yeah, we could almost have our own compound because those houses are all really close to each other. Next, we have Looks Earl Grey Amber Ale. And I'm almost done using this fucking little, well, this is my third of these little plastic cups. I called today because I've been out of toilet paper for a while. Um, let's not talk about how I've been dealing with poops, but I've been dealing with poops. But I called them twice for toilet paper, and then I called them again today. Called down to the desk, and then they're like, "Well, you're never there for the cleaning ladies. You're always there, so the cleaning ladies can't clean your room." I go, "Yeah, I tried to leave one time, and I was gone for 3 hours. They were already on my floor, and I got back, and they were still 10 rooms away from my fucking room. Like, I can't be gone for 12 hours a day. I need toilet paper." And they go, "Well, what are you telling us?" I go, "I'm telling you that if you don't bring me up some fucking ass wipe, I'm going to start wiping my ass with your towels. Is that what you want?" Still waiting on the ass wipe. I think they want me to wipe my ass with their towels. I think that's what they're telling me. I think they're saying take that face cloth that's bright white and make it not bright white anymore. And if I have to, I'll do it for them, but I don't really want to because those aren't soft. They're not soft. They're not soft at all. Yeah, so I was looking at Broadview because Broadview had jobs and worthwhile prices on houses. Prince Albert has amazing prices on a lot of houses and a lot of good jobs. Regina, not so much for prices on houses. The same with Saskatoon. I found some houses in Saskatoon, but they needed a lot more work than was ready to move into. And then there's a lot of other places like Birch Hills and just like in New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, a lot of places that are out in the middle of nowhere that have amazing houses and amazing prices on the houses. But as a blind guy, I would have to be working, either doing my woodworking again or breeding dogs. And my wife won't let me do that until we're situated and things are set. Excuse me. So yeah. And then there's also Alicia's dad trying to get me to work for the Arctic College with him up in Cambridge Bay. Because they'll offer me a job paying huge money and I don't have any bills and I'd be a contractor and this and that. And he's like, it would be great for you. You'd make so much money for your family. It's what I do. It's how we pay for everything. I go, yeah, that's great, but I don't like being away from my wife and kids for these 10 days, let alone 6 months at a time. So I appreciate your offer. I really do. I appreciate your thought. I don't think I would be a great candidate to work at the Arctic College and be gone for 6 months at a time. Well, it's actually like 2 months on, 2 months off, 2 months on, 2 months. But I don't think that would be what I'd want to do. And I can tell you right now, my wife would not want to deal with all three kids plus deal with my ex-wife on her own. And my ex-wife would have a fucking shit fit if she found out I was gone for 2 months at a time and her kid was under the care of Alicia because she likes to pretend Alicia does not exist. Big difference in country. PA versus Broadview. Not sure if that matters. What do you mean by big difference in country? Sorry, that one I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that one. Like that Broadview is more like a country-esque. From what I could figure out, because the jobs I was looking at were in Broadview, and the job I was offered was in Broadview looked more like a town, uh, like a town with a couple restaurants, a couple stores, and that was it. Where Prince Albert looked more like a city. Is that more what you're saying? Remember, I'm originally from Braeside, so well, I grew up in Ottawa, then we moved to Braeside, which was outside of Arnprior. So Arnprior was the town, and you went into Arnprior, and there was a McDonald's, a Wendy's, a Tim Hortons, your grocery stores, your Canadian Tire, um, but the choices were fairly limited. There was like 15 restaurants, like three big box stores, which was your grocery store, Canadian Tire, and something that was like no name Winners. And then you had all your like little town shops. And that's what I was kind of imagining Broadview to be, is a lot like an Arnprior. Where Prince Albert, I looked at it as more like a small city, more like a, I don't know, what would be my Ontario equivalent to maybe a St. Catharines, maybe a Niagara Falls, like just without the tourism trade, but that type of size of city, like I don't know, like a 70 to 110,000 people, somewhere in that range. Okay, so yeah, I was kind of right. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, my kids would appreciate rivers and trees and all that. I The prairies don't bother me all that much. As long as, like I said, there's some things we can do and some places we can go. I'm 100% down. What's this middle throw? Oh, I know Broadhead there, middle throw. I know Broadhead. Are you fucking joining or what? Like, are you coming to say hi? Are you just stringing me along? Are you like my ex-wife trying to keep me here? Keep drinking, Chad. I'm gonna come. But yeah, so Broadhead, and I hear Broadhead moved from its original location as well. And when you made your comment about you're killing me tooth and nail was like 10 minutes from me. Yeah, we must have been close to you the whole time because nothing we went to was more than 10 minutes away from each other. Like we started at Beyond the Pale, and then we went to Tooth and Nail. Then we went to Spark Beer. And from there, we tried to go to Overflow, but Overflow was closed for a private event that Overflow did not announce they were closed for until like 45 minutes before they closed. And that's why I'm still saying fuck you, Overflow. I'm really not trying to force you to join me. I'm just being an asshole right now. Just because I have nothing else to do. I have nothing else to do. Oh, what do we got going on? Well, thank you for everything you told me, and have a good night. Great to know some information about Saskatchewan. When I talk to my wife tonight, I will inform her of the things you said, because we are trying to make our plan for our family's future and what we think will be our strategies and our plans and everything else. So it is in the works. So thank you very, very much. It was greatly appreciated. Oh. So onto the toilet paper thing. So after they still didn't send me up any toilet paper, I was ordering some. I was ordering some Gatorade from a corner store, a dépanneur, and I saw they had single rolls of toilet paper. So I ordered two single rolls at $1 a roll. And I'm like, oh, that hurts, but whatever. These guys aren't sending me any. I want toilet paper. I want to be able to wipe my fucking ass. I get my order. I paid for my toilet paper. Did not get my toilet paper. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. What's that? The best, all the best, and thank you. I know you get frustrated at times, but it will work out. Well, thank you for that too. Yes. I don't know. I don't expect the world. I know that my struggles aren't nearly as bad as a lot of other people's struggles. I just, like I said, I'm worried about missing out on our chance, and I don't want to miss out on that chance. No, Paul, I don't want to send you that link. Here you go. Oh, good. And now I have that email. I guess I need to get these ready then if somebody's joining. It's got to plug them in too, right? Ugh. It's so far away though. It's way over here. I don't want to have to reach over here. And yeah, my frustration's there, and it be there as much as it is, but I get it. And yeah, like I said, I'll talk to her. I talked to her tonight. I'll talk to her about what was said. Uh, and yeah, it was very helpful. So thank you. Because that's one of the things she's scared of is what happens when we go over there, because she's never been there, and I mean neither have I. And it's one of those, hey, look, we're just jumping into something, yay! And we've just jumped into many things in our 4 years together. Wow, these headsets are when this with these earbuds are in, I can really hear my my voice are hot. And I never used to be able to make the S sound. I had to have speech therapy for it. The headsets in with the headsets with the earbuds in. Well, that. That's messed up. I don't really like that, to be honest. I don't really like that at all. Um, yeah, yeah. I'll just put you up here. We'll just grab this and check how many. Yep, give me a question right. I did not expect that, to be honest. Um, yeah. So what do we still have for reviews? Uh, get Boreal's Salt. Sewer. Those are um, we have truffle amaretto. Other we have Baldwin beer. We have Maxwell. We have Beer Watts, which is apparently a Vienna lager. So I'm actually kind of intrigued on that one. I open. Last but not least, Stout Imperial au Cafe. So a coffee imperial stout. Really intrigued to try too. It's made with coffee from us, a roastery here itself. Yeah, really excited to try. I actually made it with them today. They did have two other tap only, and I was going to go and try them just get out and blow the stank off me again. But I didn't feel great this morning. I woke up. I have not slept. I have not slept since we came on vacation. Part of it when we first went on vacation was his house. The room was a dank basement, which is fine. I've lived in dank basements before, but it was a dank basement. There was so you could actually like solidify your his kids are up all kids are 2 and 19. And yeah, so they're walking around, skip the dishes delivered at like 3 a.m. And because it's a townhouse in Banyan, or something there's and the bed was just a double and like we're not then I actually had to wake up every time I had to get there. Like inside my side of the bed, it would take a lot to get up because I got just touch like my heels would touch the bed be on an angle that yeah. I did not sleep the entire time we were there. Then we got here. It was soft as fuck, and I need to be and this. Oh yay, Jacinda's here. What's going on, Jacinda? Drinking lug tread while reading Robert Munch to my daughter. That is actually pretty awesome. Hey, hey, hey. No, hey, 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 yourself. So where I was going was yeah, so I need like that firm type like a tiger. So I did then and then the next day we got what we were about. Figured if anyone was that he knew that all could have come back affected in January. The only one that came back positive DR test. I can sleep because I'm like stuck here. But I've been beginning slept in 4 years without her beside. Other than when she was dying in the hospital. Just shit today. Been almost a month. But it's still today for a beer. Unfortunately, they are closed until Wednesday, and Wednesday's the day I'm playing, so I'll never get to try those unless they're still having them when I get back. Uh, Hello, Shay. Yeah, Santa Claus says hello. Um, yeah, I did talk to my wife too about the segment on the channel, uh, talking stories about our relationship, and is up for it. She doesn't care to watch it, but she is up for it. So that will be the segment will start in high school and us. Even see each other's calls and stuff, and tell stupid stories with things that happen, things that um, just all of us, all too. So I would actually love to be able to get a video done while she's still there, so that it works. But I'll try and StreamYard with her. We're just doing one. see if she is able to not able to do that Monday night and start the chat and Alicia story time. It's like yeah, I can remember everything. Like I can remember those clothes she would wear back in I was a creeper. I was still a creeper. Yeah, I remember her dad, she's like, yeah, he was always at Jim's restaurant. Her dad, he's like, what's he look like? She goes, he's albino. She told me, but he doesn't. And mom was on a FaceTime call, and she was chasing me around. He's like, I know. I think that's the saddest thing is I actually do to an extent, other than the fact that I got fat, will look the same as I did. Am I? Hmm. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. It's actual good. Thing. I do. Have I been cutting out a lot more, or did it just start? Uh, yeah. Okay, it just started. At least it just started. Maybe it's about to cut me off. So I'm signal because that's how this take too long. They boot you off every so many hours. I don't know. It just sounds like usual. Flu. Here's yes, like I was saying, we will start that segment on the gym as upward family stuff. We are coming to where I am right now while we wait to find out what's going on with us staying in the market or whether we're leaving New York. I can't I can't have a bunch of stuff shipped up. Excuse me. So I know for sure what's going on. And even so, I want family out of the Arctic so bad that I don't want to waste money on beer for a little bit until we're ready to until we change slow. Love to get videos from Egypt that while I'm up there. Internet. Maybe if I had Starlink, maybe, but come on. And the best part is, you pay our tamani, and our tamani is so it's your internet works. I don't even. So tonight for dinner, I had the most unhealthy dinner. I hate myself for doing it. It's a waste of money. It's expensive and it's gross. And just it, haven't. You know what? I haven't had this in like 5 years. Let's have KFC. Had not spent a dime on that. I was eating it and I'm like, oh man, my heart's gonna stop. I'm gonna get kidney stones. This is so salty. It just when I would have a KFC dinner, it's usually KFC dinner, and you eat. And I think part of the problem is the recipe completely to go vegan gravy. Your chicken, your gravy was chicken fat, and I get the entire idea of vegan gravy because I'm a vegan. Destroyed your gravy for everybody. With your gravy, yes, your gravy was bad. It was like take your take your fucking just go, and that's unfortunate, but it tasted so good tonight. I'm like, what is this? Yeah. What I was going to do was I was going to order Subway, and I was going to order 2 foot lunch, and then I only had to pay delivery tip for one. Just as I was about to close them, it just it won't. Okay. You know, sorry, I'm looking at the like on the on this guy. Oh, just nobody wants him anymore. Just me now. Well, I guess hey, that's telling me things. So thank you guys for everything. Have a good evening.